say I volunteered as one of the parent reps for the PTA this year, and I just wanted to kick off the meeting and welcome everyone, recognize that it was a tough year. Thank you for making it to the end of your meeting. We know it's been a tough year, and we're happy to see those of you that can make it and continue to build connections with our grade. And we can take a few minutes to acknowledge some of the highlights that we had this year. Sochi, our awesome vice president of the PTA and also a ninth grade parent, actually kicked off the year with a great family meeting to welcome the ninth grade families at Lincoln. So that was an awesome event. And then we had a small group of parents that came together and started a couple things for the class, Heidi and Annie, and they set up a Facebook page so that our class could connect. It's the Lincoln High School Families of Class of 2024. And we also planned a social event this year for the ninth graders, worked with the school to have an online escape room event that went really well. Our main goals were community building, fun, and we had the side benefit of being able to raise a little bit of money for our class. So those were some of the highlights. And from here, I just want to turn it over to Heidi Roth and Annie Teagan, they will be our new class representatives for our 10th grade families next year.
Hi, everybody. I'm Heidi. I am co-chairing the parent rep for our class with Annie Teagan. And I was going to ask you guys all to put your email addresses and contact information into our chat, but we haven't figured that part out yet. We're on a learning curve here. So I guess I will start out with introducing one of the next year's student representatives. Luciana will introduce herself, and she would like to tell you a little bit about what she does for the ASB. And then we'll talk a little bit about how, as a parent group, we can support them and what we kind of do hand in hand with them. So Luciana, if you'd like to go ahead and speak, go ahead.
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Luciana. I'm a member of the Class of 2024 Council. We meet every other Thursday, and what the council does is plans fundraisers and events to raise money and build a community throughout our class. Currently, we have 5 students and 2 teachers in the council. Each student has a different job depending on the end goal and the jobs each of us want. Part of our job as a whole is getting feedback from our class. The way we do that is by posting voting forms on Schoology for our class to use. Currently, we are working on choosing a restaurant for our restaurant fundraiser over the summer to raise money for future events. If you ever have any suggestions, you can email Miss New and she'll talk about it to us in one of our meetings. Thank you for your time, and is there any questions?
I have a question, Luciana. Can you repeat how many students are on the ASB, like the actual council?
5.
5 from each class or total?
Total.
Oh, wow. So you're the rep for our class.
Yeah.
Yay. Thank you. Or for your class. It's not my class.
Anybody else have questions for Luciana before we let her disappear on us so we don't make her sit through a whole meeting?
So did she mention the t-shirts, or I heard something about the restaurant, or is that coming up later? I wasn't sure.
The restaurant is over the summer. We don't have any information on the t-shirts yet. I just know that we've sold 70, so.
Oh, that's great.
That's great. Congratulations.
Yes, and congratulations for meeting online throughout this year. It's a tough year, and it's nice to know that we have student council that's getting together and working on projects for the class.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you, Luciana. And I guess I'm going to go ahead and move on to how kind of what our goal is as a group and how we support the students. So they have some goals of fundraising. So one of our things will just be supporting them. So if they are selling t-shirts or the upcoming restaurant sales, we will help them promote those kinds of things through the parent groups and through we've got Facebook and we've got, emails that we can send out, things like that. So that's one of our goals, is just to support that group. We also have some individual things that we have to do as a group. So in the long run, we will have to raise some funds for what we would call our senior spree or our senior bash. So when our group of kids graduates, we'd like to have the funds raised to be able to support scholarships and those kinds of things for kids that need it for that final event. So we spend the next couple of years working towards that, so it's not writing really big checks at the end. We don't have big fundraising goals. We don't plan to pay for that in full, but we do plan to offer scholarships for kids. And then other than that, it's really just raising funds for fun community events and things like that. So that's how we support that group. And then I guess I maybe jumped the gun a little bit, whereas Sachi can explain how the PTA is kind of overarching in what we do and how we work with them. So sorry about that, Sachi. I guess I jumped the gun.
Okay, Heidi. I'm Sochi, actually, but that's no problem. What I wanted to do here, I'm Sochi, and I'm actually the vice president, outgoing vice president of the PTSA, and possibly the incoming co-president for next year. I want to just share really quickly with you guys let's see here, I'm gonna share this screen. I wanted to, so that all parents are kind of aware of, sorry, I just see these quick Word documents. So, but this is the way that the school has the class of 2024 set up. So all the class of 2024 is the ASB. Then there's the council, which is the 4 to 6 members that Luciana was talking about. And then in that 4 to 6 members, they have a Miss New, who is like the organizer, the student, can't think of her exact title. If anyone knows it and wants to jump in, and I don't know what her official title is, but she works with the students, kind of student climate, student events, that kind of thing. She said that then there's a president and treasurer, which is just basically like, so that there's a go-to person for the council and a person who deals with the financial stuff for the ASB, because there's a lot of strict rules in regards to how they can deal with their money. And she did want me to pass on just a couple of highlights that just for us to consider as we go on with our assistance as a committee, helping them out. She just really wanted to make sure that we understood how important it is for the kids to take ownership over prom specifically and other events, because it helps them build community. And she was, very clear that it basically gives them the skills of, learning how to contact businesses and working as a team and project management, and just a lot of filling out forms, lots of different skills that they'll need. So to go ahead and keep that in mind. The ASB, the class of 2024, is going to be asked to raise $1,000 next year, $2,000 as juniors, and then $4,000 as seniors, that they'll do on their own through their fundraising events. And then any money that we do raise for them through this group, which is associated with the PTSA, when we donate it to them, it has to be with no strings attached. So basically, it's kind of like maybe more like when they need it, probably for different events as they're going along. And so that we should think about raising money for outside of school activities, like post-graduation party or senior breakfast or other things, but things that aren't during school time. And she wanted me to highlight too that high school students really want control over their own events and will sometimes become disconnected or frustrated when the adults try to take control. So I wanted to pass these on because we can kind of keep these in mind as we go along. I thought they were helpful tips. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to bounce back to what our role is. I already mentioned some of our fundraising goals. We also really want to focus on building community. So how we can, as she said, the kids really want to organize their own events, but how we can organize things maybe for the community. Some things that have been done before us, the incoming senior class, so the current juniors have sort of kind of laid some really good groundwork, but we definitely are still building this ship. So we get to kind of do some things that are maybe haven't been done before us. So the seniors are doing some really cool things next year. They're going to start off the year with like a big beach party. They did some really fun fundraising events this year. They did the flocking. I'm sure you saw the pink flamingos being passed around, and they did the takeout Tuesdays and those kinds of things. And those were all fundraising events to raise for their senior spree, the scholarships for their senior spree. So they plan to pass down some of those things. Next year's junior class will have the option of doing the flocking event or the takeout Tuesdays. We have the option of coming up with our own path and what that looks like for us. So we have to definitely come up with some ideas of how the kids can raise some funds. We have, we don't know exactly what our goal is yet, but we do know we want to start plucking away at that a little bit as we move forward. And so I think that's kind of most of what I wanted to cover. So if you have ideas or you know of events that have happened in other schools that have been successful, since we are having to kind of reinvent this wheel, it'd be really nice if people send us emails, things like that. We're happy to look into it and see what we can come up with. I'm going to pass this off to my co-chair for this, Annie, and go ahead.
Awesome. Thanks, Heidi. It's super good to see all of you guys. I really wish that we were in person at the school or somewhere outside. And so I hope that next time we have a meeting, we can be in person. I know, like Katie said, this year has been hard on a lot of us, and some more than others. But I'm really hoping that this group can really kind of make it as good as we can next year for the students. And one of those ways that we can do that is through events and building a sense of community, like Heidi said. So we're now, this is kind of the call for volunteers part, and you don't have to volunteer right now, but since this group is really focused a lot on events and sort of building community within the school, we need your brains. And so we're looking for parent volunteers to join us on, it'll be I don't know what we'll call it, the 10th grade events committee. And that group is going to help plan events, just, 2 or 3 over the course of the year. It's nothing crazy, but social gatherings and events and fundraisers for the 10th grade class next year. And one thing I think that's interesting about Lincoln is that, I don't know about you guys, but my daughter said that it's not cliquey. So I'm curious to see if anyone has any comments about that, but I thought that was not my high school experience. So it's really nice to hear. And I think one of the reasons is because they do the houses, which kind of are, the 4 houses go along each class. They have members from each class in each house. So that's awesome. But the one thing that I know that at least my daughter was missing was some camaraderie within her class. And so I know that's one thing that I think this group can help with. So some of the events will involve fundraising. And so kind of the first task of this group, this committee, will be to determine, with help from ideas from students and parents, and maybe just general brainstorming with people from other schools, to plan a fun event for the fall to kick off the year for the sophomores. So if you're interested, I want you guys to just let us know. We, for some reason, I don't know, we probably all in our day jobs use Zoom, but for some reason on this account, we're not able to find the chat feature or add it. I don't know why, sorry. We're normally not total Luddites, but you can, we'll put the email, I'll just say what the email is. It's class of 2024 at Lincoln, Seattle, PTSA.org. And I'll post that on the Facebook page, and you guys will make sure that we'll post that. And then I think the best way, since we can't collect your emails now, we'll just post it on the Facebook page, and then you guys can send us your emails just to let us know, that you want to get updates about this class, about events and things that are happening in this class, even over the summer. And then you can also get information and updates about, or sorry, you can let us know if you want to volunteer for this events committee. And I'd say we need about 5 or 10 people. Katie, were you going to say something?
Well, I wonder, Annie, since we're such a small group, maybe people would could just chime in. Or I did just find a setting under like video, when you, if Sochi wanted to try to click the arrow, you can go to video settings, and then there's something called chat, and maybe there's a show chat button for the Zoom. If you know that, where it says stop video and you can click it.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Maybe have a look there. But yeah, I don't know if we also want to maybe at the end, like, could open it up and do a little bit more of a roundtable Q&A.
Yeah, no, I think that would be great. I mean, if you guys are willing, the folks that are on the call, and we certainly we won't, go the whole hour or anything like that. But if you guys wouldn't mind just taking a couple of minutes to just say who you are and who your kiddo is, and maybe if they're on, or Sochi, did you have a poll?
I did, yeah. Hopefully it works.
Okay, well, we can just kind of go around first, and I can, kind of call folks' names, and just, if you're willing to just, you can take the poll in the meantime, but just introduce yourself. And we can start with Stacy.
Oh, the poll just popped up.
Yay, it's probably on your way, sorry.
Hi, I'm Stacy Hoisington. I have 2 kids at Lincoln. My daughter Kellen is a freshman, and my son Quinn is a sophomore. I'm connected with the district in that I'm a Seattle schools teacher, but feel pretty disconnected from the things going on at Lincoln. And so I would love to get involved.
That's great. Thank you. Oh my gosh, you're like a gold mine, because you have a freshman and a sophomore, and you're a teacher. So you have all kinds of perspectives that are helpful. Thank you. Christine.
Hey, hi.
Hi.
Nice to see or meet all of you. Katie, hello again. So I've known Katie since I had a kindergartner. My daughter.
Can you, Chris?
A 9th grader. Yep.
We couldn't hear you for a second there.
Oh, that's okay. So I have a 9th grader, Evelyn Rush, who's there at Lincoln. And then I also have a 6th grader. My son is at McClure. So I would say I was taking a couple notes. It's nice to meet some of you virtually and see some familiar faces. The 2 comments that I had were, I do feel disconnected. I think everybody does. So my daughter does as well. She's always been a little bit more of an introvert, and I was really hoping that high school would give. I'd have to wait until sophomore year to do that. But I do think she has felt comfortable in the situations that she's been in. The escape room was great. The 2 things I wanted to say before I forget is that I wanted to find out what the alumni group was like. I have heard things about them because my mom's best friend is a Lincoln High School alumni from like 1958. And so I have heard pre-COVID that there was a group of alumni out there, and I'm wondering how active they are, and if there's an opportunity for us to work with them to kind of, I don't know, kind of bring some vibrancy in when we all go back to school in the fall. And then the other comment that I had, or question, is if it's possible maybe to reach people at the farmers markets this summer, to kind of, again, see if there's adults out there that do want to join, that may or may not have been tuned out or not on the Facebook page, etc. So those were the two things I wanted to say before I forgot.
That's awesome. Thank you. I know that the alumni group was active when Lincoln first started, and they have up their whole section of the website and things like that. I ran across it somewhere, so I'll have to dig for it, but we'll look into that. I think that's an awesome idea, especially now that folks are vaccinated. They could somehow get involved in person. That's so awesome. So cool.
I'm a honorary member of the alumni. I didn't graduate, but when Lincoln was first getting set up, I was helping Ruth out, and I went to a couple of their meetings. So I get all their mailings and that kind of stuff. So I could always reach back out to the organizers if the PTA is comfortable with that.
That's awesome.
That's really cool. What a great connection.
Yeah.
Christine, what kind of ideas did you have, or if you did, for, you mentioned the alumni with regards to like coming back to school. Did you have anything in mind?
So I actually know this sounds cheesy, but at Katie, I don't know if you remember, the kids went to Bayview Manor. Each 5th grade class had a small group that went to Bayview Manor where they got to have lunch with like the seniors there. And I just remember both of my kids feeling like this was just really a neat thing. And so I was thinking to myself, like, could we have a back to school? I don't know if it's a tea or something like that. I don't mean to make all the alumni feel old, but something like that, like either an informal like buddy system. And again, having the ASB go out, like having them survey the kids about what do they think about having this alumni group. So, a couple of the things I was just thinking about would be like a tea or an informal buddy program, or this week in Lincoln High School history, or like a guest alumni come talk. So some connections like that. And again, us not forcing it, but maybe just dropping a few ideas with the ASB and seeing what they had to say about that connection. I don't know. I just remember my kids having a really great time with senior citizens that were not their own grandparents.
I mean, to be honest with you, because I've been on the PTSA at Lincoln for 2 years, the alumni, that's like totally up their alley. That's exactly kind of like what this type of connections that they want to have with the students is like, and us is like, bring us treats and coffee kind of a thing. So I think that sounds like a great idea, actually. It's definitely something, we could bring back to the board. And, I mean, obviously, like you said, we can't force the kids to do something, but, but we can support certain ideas.
But just like even making that connection that, oh, we have, parents that know alumni, and then the alumni events. The kids might start getting excited and have ideas too about what they would want to do. And they'll probably remember, I'm sure, Christine, there would be kids that remember that event at Co. It was really meaningful to most of the kids, I think, and maybe other schools did it too. There's also, my son's noticed there's a retirement community across the street from the school. So lots of times in the afternoon, there's, older people walking around, and I don't know, I think the kids are aware, and kind of that multi-generational relevance is kind of a part of high school too. They start to get that awareness, I think.
The oldest active member of the alumni organization lives in that building, and she hosts the alumni meetings there.
Wow.
So,
there you go.
I mean, I just, for me, I think one of the greatest things that, and I'm glad to hear all of this. I think one of the greatest things that drew Evelyn to the school is there is this idea about being able to reinvent or be really involved in a school as it's growing. What I also think we could do, if the kids wanted, is to make them realize that school is like, it's either the first or second oldest high school in the city. I mean, they are like reinventing it, but there is like this huge history there that if they want, they could, use it to their advantage. I mean, there's probably their 60 hours of service somewhere in that.
Oh, Freezing up again.
Alumni group. I mean, there's a lot of things I think that it could be worthwhile. Yeah.
I love it.
Thanks so much for bringing that up. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
Sachi, do you happen to know when the homecoming game will be for football? Because I would assume homecoming we could really easily, it's normally early in the season, and we could connect it with some of these alumni-ish events.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the dates of things for next year yet, so I don't know that. But, you know, it's certainly stuff, you know, these are good ideas to knock around and continue talking about. And then, you know, once there's more formulated, because Heidi and Annie are the chairs on the PT, you know, they'll be coming to meetings and connecting with us. So I'd say let's definitely have that, you know, writing that down and continuing to work, zhuzh it.
Love it. Thanks, Sochi. So
Thank you.
We were going around, I know that Kaz has joined us. If that's your real name, that is the coolest name ever. Hi. We can definitely catch you up afterwards, but I'm Annie and Heidi is your co-rep or parent rep. And right now we were just kind of going around doing intros. So right now we're at Deepa. Do you want to introduce yourself? Just tell us who your kiddo is.
Hi, this is Deepa. Sorry, I'm making dinner and feeding the dog and, you know, doing all that stuff.
Totally get it.
Juggle, right, and pretend we're not doing it, but really we're doing it.
Right.
I'm Deepa. My son is Kavi. Annie, I think I recognize your name from the golf mail list. Is that right? Is it daughter that? Yeah. So his exposure to Lincoln really has been the golf team, which he loves. Other than that, hasn't really met anyone. And I just thought I should be on this call, but I have no ideas. I'm kind of useless, but I just figured I should be here. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you. I'm so glad that you're here, and it's a beautiful night, so I really appreciate it doubly.
Yeah, sorry,
you don't need to have any expertise. You just need to want to be involved and want to be here. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know how much use I can be, but I figured maybe there's something I can do to help. And I feel like I grew up in England. We didn't have anything like at the scale of when you leave school here. So I think it's great to make it fun for the kids, especially when they lost out, right, on this year. So
yeah, this year was bad.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you. And since I have folks that are in this class, I'm going to just take a moment of personal privilege and just say, if anyone has girls, the golf team needs girls next year or it will fold. My daughter's going to be the only one on the team. So she needs at least one other person if your daughters are interested.
That's great. I've been trying to get my daughter to go out and give that a try. So
awesome.
I'll try.
Go ahead, Christine.
No, I just said I will give it a try. Thanks for that reminder to see if my daughter I can get her out there. And I am multitasking. I am eating dinner, and that is why you do not see my face eating my dinner. So
no worries. You have a lovely picture. So what's your daughter's name?
Evelyn.
Oh, that's your Evelyn. That's right. Yeah. Okay, awesome. And then I think Laura and Clara, and then we'll go to Kaz. Laura?
Hi, I'm Laura Ratner. Hi, Annie. We were in PEPs together in my PEPs
we
group.
were. Oh my gosh, I totally recognize you. How crazy. Wow.
I haven't seen you in 14 years. So,
hi, everybody.
So my daughter, Maddie, my only child, and she loves school and is also feeling, like everyone else, disconnected. And I just thought it might be fun to check out and see what people are doing for them for next year and see where I could be helpful. So thanks for having me.
Awesome. Thank you. It's so good to see your face. And I totally recognize your voice. Like when you started talking, I was like, I know her. Awesome. Good to see you. So Clara?
Hi, I'm at the airport.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So obviously I really wanted to be here. It's really nice to see and meet everyone. My son is a 9th grader, obviously, and we moved here a year before the pandemic started. So yeah, just really excited to be re-engaged. And I'm about to board, so I'm gonna hop off now, but I will put my email in the chat or the Facebook page.
Oh, awesome.
Look forward to, I like planning events. Yeah, so thanks for putting this together.
Great. Thank you, Clara. Safe travels.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, and then Kaz.
Hi, my name is Christy. My last name is Casimore, so that's why it says Kaz on there. I'm in somebody else's account, so it doesn't have my full name. My son's name is Cameron, and yeah, I just was like, oh yeah, we should do class events. That sounds good. He actually went to Lincoln when it was an elementary school. So, and I just talking about the old folks home across the street, they actually did several events there. I remember chaperoning a field trip over there where they were doing some sort of poetry workshop. I can't remember the details, but I know that they have a history of interacting with the Lincoln school community, whatever school happens to be in that building at the time. So
That's so cool. So he was there, I think, so my daughter was he at McDonald? When
he was at Cascadia.
Cascadia, okay, cool. Awesome. Is that it? Has everyone, I can't see everyone on my screen. I think everyone has introduced themselves.
I think so.
I think so.
And then
Great. Well, I wanted to also, so yeah, like I said, we'll put the email address in on the Facebook page. Does anyone not have access to the Facebook page? I'm assuming that's how you all got this link. Okay.
Or did you give the email address out too, in case that's
I
easier?
did, yeah. It's class of 2024 at Lincoln, Seattle, PTSA.org.
nice and short. Very.
I say the poll is interesting. Where did some people's kids come from other than Hamilton and McClure? Where else did your kids come from to Lincoln? Because it's more, the percentage is higher.
My kids went to Jane Addams.
Jane Addams. Okay, cool.
Yeah, Covey went to Jams too.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
I think my daughter Kellen knows Covey because they went to Wedgwood together.
That's right. I knew I recognized you from somewhere.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
Awesome.
My daughter went to Lake Washington Girls Middle School.
Okay.
Wait, who said that? Was that
Laura.
Laura? My daughter went there too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she's a junior this year at another school, but yeah, so she was, it was 3 years ago, so we may not. If you have freshman 1 year, yeah. So.
And whose kids are in Pell in music? Looks like a couple people. Is that maybe that's the gal that left early? Anybody?
Both of my kids are in the orchestra. One's in chamber and one's in symphony, but they'll be in symphony next year.
Oh, cool. And how did they survive it this year? Was it just bizarre to have it at home? Oh, she's frozen, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
No. What about sports? Who, as an athlete, a lot of people in athletics, what sports are your kids playing in or outside of Lincoln?
Well, my son went to Eagle Staff before Lincoln, and then he didn't do any school sports this year, but he's been doing orienteering, which is sort of, I guess it's sort of school. He represents Lincoln. As far as I know, he's the only one from his school.
A club, right? Isn't it a club?
Yeah,
I think
it's a.
I saw them. I thought I saw them advertising for it.
Yeah, it's called Cascade Orienteering, I think, right? Yeah. Anyway, it's really great if anybody else wants to join. It's you compete individually, but I think if you have a bunch of people from a school, then there can be some team point totals or something like that.
What is it?
It is running around in the woods or sometimes campus type areas with a map, and you have to find different locations and go to them in order. And so
Okay.
it's like a race. But
Cool.
everyone starts, they time the starts out so that you are all by yourself and can't get help from anyone
Nice.
to find the controls.
That's a fun challenge.
Great.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's nice because the kids are all by themselves and have to problem solve when they get lost.
Yeah, that's a good skill.
Yeah.
Like the 70s.
Stacy, you got cut off. You froze up when we were asking about how did it go this year?
Oh, with orchestra?
Yeah.
Miss Greenbaum was amazing because she had pods for the kids throughout this whole school year. So the kids met once a week with their small group at somebody's home. And so she was amazing, and the kids got to play music together. So I think actually that since school has started, they haven't been meeting with the pods, and I think it's been a little more difficult because they're seeing each other. Sorry, my internet is unstable. Anyway, it's going okay. I think they're excited to be in person and get to play together every day next year.
That's awesome. Yeah, it can only get better next year. For sure.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome. That's great. And I know we just had Nicole join. And Nicole, you just joined, and we're putting you right on the spot, but I know you can take it.
Joined.
I know you can take it.
I can totally take it.
You can take it. So we were just taking a moment to go around because it's kind of a small group to just sort of like say who we are and who our kiddo is in 9th grade. And anything else you want to share?
It's fun to see you here. Hi.
Hi.
I'm Nicole Shapiro. I have a daughter that's graduating from McDonald this year, McDonald International in the Japanese program. And then my other daughter went through Hamilton and is in 9th grade going into 10th grade at Lincoln. And my 5th grader will go to Hamilton next year. I'm currently the McDonald chair. I've been the chair there for 2 years. I was on the BLT before that. I will be the BLT rep at Hamilton next year. And I hopefully am going to start helping to organize some parent groups focused on supporting the language at Lincoln. So I'm looking for someone on a parent on the Spanish side and a parent on the French side, because I'm clearly on the Japanese side, to think about things that we can do to, spice it up and support the program.
Awesome. Thanks. And we asked, I don't know if Josie's on any orchestra or sports.
Nope.
We just asked for examples from that.
She's a circus performer. They don't have circus at
Circus. I know. If they had circus at Lincoln, it would be great. That's awesome. Well, great. Well, we have just been I'll catch you up later, Nicole, or you can watch this lovely show if you'd like to. But we basically, the last thing I was going to do is just kind of share some resources with you guys, just making sure, obviously, everyone's seen the Facebook page for our class, and making sure that you're on the Lincoln High School Parents Facebook page. And then we also have a donate link that we will be using more and more as we move forward in the next few years. And it's the same, you send these letters to the same number that you send to other Lincoln text codes, but you send links, LYNX 2024, that's our class, links 2024, and you send that to 41444 in case anyone is in the mood to make a donation. Katie?
Thanks, Annie. Would you want me to share, since I have that little write-up in email, I could share my screen and share that part of the email that has those links, if that helps people, since we can't put it in the chat. Would you want me to try that, or will we just post it in the Facebook later?
You could, I don't know if people can cut and paste it from there, but we'll
We
definitely,
wouldn't be able to just be able to see it. We would.
yeah.
It's on Facebook, it's on
Yeah.
the newsletter, it's on the web, but it's definitely, it's something that we'll continue to
Publish out there.
drill into everybody's brain. You guys will know it by heart in like a year.
Right. That's right.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, thank you. So the last really kind of two notes I wanted to say were, I hope that in the next week or two, you guys will ask your ninth graders what they want to do and try to get a feel for what is not lame that we could do, what they won't laugh at, what they might get psyched about. And then, we can definitely take it from there. Like Sochi said earlier, the ASB is doing their own events. They'll do the dances, they'll do prom, they'll do other school events, but we also can help to create and host events as the parents to support the students. But we don't want to do any lame stuff that nobody's going to come to. So that's where we need your brilliant minds and your children's brilliant minds. So please do ask your kids and send us ideas as you have them. And if you want to become involved in the events committee as sort of like a formal member, I think we'll probably need, just to start it off, like 5 or 10 members at least. We'll take everyone that we can, of course. So let us know if you are interested in joining that. I think it'll be fun. I think we've been missing fun. I told my family, I was like, this next year is like, my theme is fun. I just have to bring fun back to the kids and to our family in some way. So we've been trying to do everything that we can, going to outdoor movies, going to Mariners games. So I want to help bring that to the class next year too. And then the last thing is, if you know of anyone else that isn't here and was just happened to be making a better decision and was out at the farmer's market tonight, tell them about it and make sure that they just send us their email and they'll get added to the list. No commitment. We're just adding people to the sophomore list for next year, class of 2024 email list, so that they can get updates about information that we share. And that's pretty much it. Are there any questions you guys have? Any comments? Brilliant thoughts? Nicole, you're thinking of a brilliant thought.
I'm excited. You and I have never worked together, like been on a thing like this together.
Yes.
I'm happy. Where's the balloon blower upper?
Well,
you want to talk about fun? I'm like,
arch. Yes, we have all the materials. Yeah. So, and if there are no other questions or comments, I'll just say, Heidi and I will follow up with you, follow up by email if we have your email. And we'll be posting stuff on Facebook. And, the goal is really to have a fun, our first goal is to have a really fun event kick off the fall for the freshmen. And hopefully that'll be like right after school starts so that they can kind of know each other a little bit, and then it'll start and they'll be more comfortable going.
For the freshmen or for the sophomore?
I'm sorry, for our current freshmen.
For our current freshmen, okay. So what could be an exciting, like, look, we're actually in person at school event is what you're saying?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. They can actually be within a foot of each other. It'll be super exciting.
Super exciting.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say too, Thursday, I know more Zoom meetings, but that we are next Thursday having our membership meeting, and our principal, Ruth Metzger, will be giving like a little State of the Union kind of thing for the year. And our school board rep, Lisa Rivera, will be there. Rivera Smith will be there as well. So
all the heavy hitters. That's pretty.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
So that's the PTSA meeting, Lincoln PTSA meeting. Do you guys have
the final membership meeting?
Is there a Google Calendar for Lincoln?
There's a calendar on the web, on the Lincoln High School site. They have like a calendar there on the front page.
Is it one that we can link to our Google Calendar so that it's showing up in our Google Calendars?
Oh, I see what you're saying. I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not sure.
I think it is possible. I'll have to look up the instructions because I remember finding them when I was doing the newsletter for Hamilton. I remembered like working out what the instructions were and posting it at some point. So I'm pretty sure it's possible with Lincoln's as well. So I'll dig for it and send it to you, Nicole.
Yeah, or can you just post it in the Lincoln group? Because I'm almost guaranteed I'm not the only parent that would simplify.
Would love that.
Yeah, love it.
That's
I'm not going to be chair next year. I can go to other PTA meetings.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for joining. We're going to let you get back out to the sun. It is still out there. So we'll be talking to you on Facebook, and I don't know, maybe at some point we'll get with the program and get an Instagram page. But for now, I know how 2010 of me. But yeah, great to meet you all and look forward to working with you guys in the future. Thanks for joining.